trust you. But no, actually, I actually thought I would be really disappointed in the film just by watching the trailers and hearing what people say about it. And I thought, because I am a big Marvel fan. I love that. And
Whereas I'm not.
Which is okay.
I've watched all the Marvel films. My son insists that I watch all the Marvel films.
Well, he's a smart little fellow.
Yes, but, and you go, well, why is he watching him? He's only 4 years old. But,
Well, it's okay. My kids haven't watched it.
No, because you've got standards.
But I like them. Yeah. I'm sure I'll put one up at some point. I'm feeling...
Marvel films are completely harmless as far as I'm concerned. They have a hero arc, and
I like that though.
Hey,
I like that.
Well,
I like that in a film. But anyway, it's not what we're discussing now. What we're discussing.
No, all I'm going to do is illustrate what a terrible parent I am. But go on, moving on.
What I'm saying is, so I've said 7. You've said 6.5.
Yes.
So that was for Deadpool.
Where did you think it was weak?
Well, I've already said that in the juvenile sections.
Just the fact that it's juvenile.
Yeah, but that's just me.
I thought the leading villain was Happy Sad Sax. He wasn't great. He didn't do it for me.
Okay.
The girl irritated the shit out of me.
Which girl? There are lots of girls in this.
His mate, the bartender.
Oh, I love him. He's funny.
No, sorry.
Weasel.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
TJ Miller.
Yep.
His voice is
funny.
very...
He's not funny. He doesn't deliver as far as I'm concerned. He's an irritant.
Oh, I thought he was great.
Nope.
And he's in so many animated movies, I should say.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
I actually thought he was hilarious.
But here's me saying it's one of my favourite films, and yet there's so many of the actual performances that irritate the shit out of me. But I get that. I understand. Because I think that Ryan Reynolds does such a flaming good job, because he's just the most over-the-top narcissist you could ever hope for. It's just so over-the-top that it just eclipses everybody else's poor performances. I don't think it's particularly well directed either.
It was actually Tim Miller, and it was his debut film.
That makes sense. I don't think it was hugely. I don't think it was particularly well directed.
Okay.
So there you go.
What didn't you like about the direction?
Well, you're going to go specifics now.
No, I'm curious as to what you mean that you didn't like the director. So what was
what
was it about the director that you didn't like?
Well, he cuts backwards and forwards all the time, and that's okay if it's done well.
I like that part.
Yes, I know you would. What?
Nothing. Continue.
Okay. Well, he cuts backwards and forwards all the time, and that's fine. That's fine. But when you do that, you need to reinforce it with extra. I'm going to get in trouble here. You need to reinforce it with intellectual captures, if you know what I mean. It's going to sound like a wanker now, more so than normal. But you need to, if you're cutting backwards and forwards, you need to reinforce it and put something underneath it so that it takes the weight of a person going backwards and forwards all over the film.
I thought it did it fine.
Did you?
Yes,
Maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe there was not enough for me to grasp onto. And I know that film inside out, but I still feel that it chops around too much.
Well, the fourth wall was supposed to fix that. The fact that he's giving the narrative and he's telling you exactly what's happening and when.
Yeah, well, okay. All right, okay. I shall...
No, I'm not saying you're incorrect.
No. Perhaps I'm being overly critical of my favourite film in order to be fair.
I thought the travel back and forth was okay. I actually didn't mind that.
Right, okay. Well, if you don't have a problem with it, then sure, not a problem. It's all good. No, I'm serious. I'm serious.
It'd be interesting if anyone agrees with Paul or with me. Please let us know, because I'm now curious as to.
No. I'm sure it was just in my mind.
That's fine. Interesting. I mean, other
doesn't
people
change
feel that way.
Doesn't change the score. It's really not worth.
No, I'm interested to see if other people feel that way, because what is it about the changeovers that made it weak for you?
Oh, possibly because I'm 50 years old.
You're not 50 yet.
Oh, so close that it doesn't matter. I can already feel my encroaching mortality pressing down upon me. It's all fine.
You'll have to put your own speech in for Paul's magic moments.
I hope everybody enjoyed that. And I'll fix it up later, but I completely fucked that when I did that. I'll put it all in, and then I got this massive amount of feedback coming through. But anyway.
You'll sort it out.
Yes.
So for next week, we've got a new film and our classic film. Our new film is Deadpool 2. Just to follow through with the...
Very much a follow through.
What we've been doing.
More of the same. So if you didn't like the first one, spare yourself the indignity of going and sit and watching the second one. But if you did like the first one, go and watch it. You won't be disappointed.
But we'll talk
it's more of the same.
We'll talk about that next week.
Yep.
And our classic is Jaws.
Jaws. Yeah.
So that should be really interesting.
I've been debating whether or not to introduce my son to Jaws or not.
Oh, don't know.
I'm joking.
Really? I can never
It was
tell.
a joke.
I can never tell. Your son's watched some weird stuff. Jeez. No, but that's a 1975 film, so we'll...
He has his own taste, though.
Oh, I know.
He's got his own taste.
He's been correcting me.
And he will not watch what he doesn't like watching.
Oh, no, I know.
Yes.
And he's been correcting me in incorrect terms in the film as well.
I had a 15-minute argument with him today about how Thanos was supposed to be... you see, I think it's Thanos, and I put the S in there, and he was telling me, no, it's Thano. And then I listened to the movie, and he's fucking right, the little shit.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no, it's Thano.
I just assumed it was the American accent going
No,
Thanos.
well, when they say it, but the way it's pronounced, it's
I have
Thano.
to go back and watch it now.
Go and listen to it, yeah, it's Thano.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he can't read. So he just goes, and he was just getting so furious with me tonight, sort of thing, because he's trying to describe the movie that he wanted to watch.
Yeah.
And it had Thano in it. And I'm just going, who? What?
Oh, I'm sure there's an S in the end, and they just don't do the S because it comes out bad on the microphone.
I'm sure everybody's switched off by now.
Oh. We hope you've enjoyed listening to us. I'm so sorry. I'm going to get more sleep and drink less next week.
Okay, that's fine. I don't think it'll make any difference to the performance. But... look, we've been having... I just want to have a quick side bet here. We've been casting out and having a listen to how other people do similar kind of film club podcasts. And did you have a look at the one that I sent to you?
I listened to a different one. I got distracted. I'm sorry.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry. I got distracted.
This is why this is such a professional show. Speaking of professionalism, I'd like to tell people, listeners, if they like listening to professionalism, we've got our own thing. We don't have to worry about necessarily people saying, well, I'm just looking for something better than you guys, because we are our own thing, you know, the people who are still listening to us.
I don't know where you're going with this.
Casual Sincast. C-I-N-E. Cinecast, I think you pronounce it as such, yes.
I haven't listened to them yet. Are they any good?
Cast. Very professional.
Oh, gosh, maybe I don't want to listen to them then. I feel bad about myself.
You'll be depressed. I was sitting there going, oh, shit, oh, God, oh dear. Anyway. Look, these guys are quite good. They're quite funny, and I really enjoyed listening to them.
Make more of an effort.
They did one on Jurassic World, and look, if you like me slamming movies, I'm not the only person in the world who does it. These guys are quite happy to pull out the gun and hold it to the head of a director and pull the trigger, and I think they're probably more eloquent in the way they do it too. So definitely
more eloquent.
Oh, then you, yes.
That's not hard.
No, you're very tired tonight. It's all good. I'm only giving a gentle rib here.
I've been distracted on. I'm still listening to Australian Dollops.
Yes.
Oh, that's going to take me forever.
That's going to play over your head anyway. Yes. The dollop. So yes, look, get onto them, have a listen to them, and look, I think you'll. Just have a look at the titles of the movies that they're doing. If there's a movie that you've been, thinking about watching, they tend to go on the latest and greatest, the new ones out. And I think they occasionally have a quick look at TV from time to time. And, it's nobody should ever listen to just one podcast,
No.
I've got about, I think I'm up to nearly 80 podcasts on my feed now.
Are you serious?
Serious, you should see it.
Where do you find the time to do that?
I drive trucks.
Okay.
Yeah, I have the time. Some people have the time.
No, I've been...
Some people, have to just listen to Listening Gold. And that's here at Considered and Conceited. Yeah, I just had like 60 people go, bullshit. Anyway, guys, look, have a lovely week, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. All right. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.